All right, we are live. It is 6 o'clock, and I'm just making sure everything is working right. And I am so grateful to my friend Brandy, who is joining me for today's conversation on Empower Her Stories of Resilience. I created this podcast to empower other women, to learn from those of us who have gone through something that's whether it has been traumatic, whether it has been challenging, whether it has been harmful, both physically or mentally. We all go through things. We're not alone. And so I put a request out to women who have gone through the challenges to be able to come on and share their stories, because that's where we gain strength in numbers, and we gain strength and power to continue in our own journeys when we know we're not alone. So today I have Brandy, and Brandy's a powerhouse leader and advocate for community empowerment. She wears many hats as the founder and CEO of Generation Success NOLA, president of BW Consulting, and opportunity leader at Opportunity Nation. With a passion for creating opportunities and empowering others, Brandy has dedicated her career to making a difference in her community. Through her work with Generation Success NOLA, she has transformed the lives of countless individuals, students, helping them overcome obstacles and achieve their dreams. Welcome to my friend Brandy.
Hi y'all, how you doing? This is wonderful. I'm so excited.
As you should be. All right, Brandy. So we're going to start by telling us a little bit about you. Who is Brandy?
Well, like long walks on the beach. I like to feel my feet in the sand. And I am, can I cuss here? I gotta ask.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, look, just real talk, y'all. I have a potty mouth, and Stephanie knows this, so I gotta be real honest. And if I'm gonna be authentic, there's gonna be some f bombs that come up out of my mouth. I just want you to know.
That's all right. What was my message in the email? Be
Be
authentic.
real, be transparent. Okay,
Yep.
so I'm an unapologetic shit starter, disruptor, and fucker upper of all things disequitous, right?
Amen.
Couple things that didn't come out about me, and you should know this. I am actually a disabled founder. I have chronic illness up the wazoo. I've beaten cancer 4 times, right? Yay me. But I have currently sarcoidosis, and I am, what is this now? 6 months outside of spinal surgery.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, that's what I've been up to. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Your post makes sense now.
Exactly, right? No, I had lymphoma. That was the last cancer that I had contracted, and it ate through my spinal cord and left spinal cord injuries. So
Okay.
there's now metal pieces in my spine to make sure that I can do all the things. But I'm walking, talking. I was up 2 hours after the surgery, so there's something about me and this blood that I'm just a little unstoppable, and I'm okay with that.
So I can already tell that's a part of the journey and the challenges, because I know you have some work journey and challenges, but I didn't know about the health one. So you've already compounded, and now my brain and my wheels are turning. So, okay, a little bit about Brandy. So now let's get into challenges. So you already named the health challenges. What on top of that is Brandy dealing with
Shit, I'm black.
in America?
I am a black female disabled CEO. Right there, like I'm cisgendered or whatever the hell we call it. Like I'm a heterosexual female. I don't know all the terms. Y'all, I'm sorry. Don't cancel me. I'm trying. Okay. But I am a heterosexual female. I am a wife. I am a mother. And I'm black. And I'm a CEO in this here America. And I'm just going to be real honest with you. I don't really need to say anything else on top of that.
That
But on
part.
top of that, I'm from the Bible Belt South, and I'm not your traditional Christian. So that comes in with a whole lot of other things. I don't know how to kiss ass. I don't kiss rings. If you want my respect, I don't give a damn who you are. You're going to earn it, right? And those
Yes.
are some of the key components that have created obstacles, both personally,
Yeah.
professionally, etc.
Okay.
We'll probably get into this a little bit, but I too am a school founder. Somebody should have told me not to do this. Okay,
Somebody should have told me too.
Jesus. But a huge part of one of the biggest obstacles I faced is getting the school off the ground because I, as a parent with my husband alone, sued an entire school system and fucking won.
Oh,
Yeah. Because I am the mother of a child who is on the autistic spectrum.
okay.
And
I did know that. Hmm.
my son is a 2E. I've spent my career working for 2Es. Those of you who are unfamiliar with what that is, it's a twice exceptional student. So, what happens, you'll have two exceptionalities that sometimes pull equally from the mental capacity of the kid. Um, and in the case of my son, he has dyscalculia and he also was gifted and talented. But none of his if deficiencies, exceptionalities, pluses, minuses, just nothing got served. He had
Mm-hmm.
no service for about 2.5 years, and I had spent that entire time fighting. But I'm a documenter, right? Because in my past
Hmm.
life,
You better teach somebody.
listen, CYA, I was a president of a teachers union for 5 years in my teaching career. And during that time period, one thing that became clear and apparent, human resources departments aren't built for the employees that they're working for. They're built for the company and the brand, right? And so as an educator, you have all the best intentions, but sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So
Yeah.
document, 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 and when you're in jeopardy, document some more. Well, that process allowed me to have mountains. And when I tell you mountains, by the time we were finished with this court case, the school system owed my son so many special education and 504 minutes that he would have been receiving minutes until he graduated from college.
Oh,
Okay. I settled, and I took zero money, and I'm going to tell you why. Number one, my idea wasn't to pull money out of the mouths and the hands and the kids that need it the most.
yeah.
But as a system, you fuck shit up, so fix it, right?
That part.
Son wasn't the exception; he was the rule. He attempted suicide as a result of all these things. So here I am now. I'm an educator. I'm a mother. My son has attempted suicide, and I'm failing on all these multiple fronts. I've got to figure this out.
Yeah.
So we sued, we won. We're the reason that New Orleans public schools, all the charters, because no one cannot do this, they have to put on their website now who's their special ed coordinator, what's their appeal process, how many days the parents have for the appeal, what's the exact email address and the exact name, and if ever, because I do the audits for this now, if ever those names are out of date, that school is automatically fined and their Title I money is in jeopardy. I'm not playing with educators when I say
Wow.
do what you have to do for special ed kids because those are our most vulnerable and they need us the most. But that's where
Yes.
I started getting the name of being political trouble in education because I'm not a yes girl and you're not gonna steamroll me. So that's one of the biggest obstacles I faced.
I could have used you in San Antonio about 7 months ago, girl.
Listen, I don't know why you ain't called me. You know I don't play no
I
games.
should I should have called you. But when you're going through in that moment, you're not thinking straight. You're traumatized. Your headspace is not even where it should be. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing, how you're supposed to be doing it.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of things I should have, could have, would have done, should have done, but didn't. But I think the outcome is still a great outcome, even though it wasn't a great process. That makes
I
sense.
agree with you because I just got to be honest with you, Stephanie. You are absolutely amazing. Like, don't let anybody tell you
Thank
anything
you.
otherwise. Seriously. You are a true inspiration and a true delight to what love and passion can do in this entrepreneurial space. So hold your head high and fuck them because
That part.
all the seeds that they have sown will come back to harvest and it's going to come back to harvest and like karma doesn't have a time, she doesn't
Correct.
have an opinion other than she
Correct.
don't get hers. So
That part. That part. She is who she is, and she's a law, and you can't refute laws.
at all, it's an energy. Every time you decide to put your little fingers and meddle into things with other people and bring them harm, you are sowing a seed for yourself times five, and I don't think people understand that.
Oh, I do. And that's why I make sure that I am kind to people and that I'm genuinely loving. But this is my personality and this is who I want to be. And when harm happens, I work really hard not to become the hard, callous person that I know I can become because I like who I am. I love being loving and kind and generous and helpful. And the whole purpose of this podcast is like, okay, oh crap. I went through this situation. I know I'm not alone. So, how many other women can I now find that can share their stories so that we can help other women that are going through, have been through, or prevent them from going through something in the future? And so, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. But I'm not going to let anybody change who I am. But I did lose myself for a second, though.
You know what? That's the grace that you're supposed to have, because what the actual hell? They
That part.
brought you through the ringer, right? So the fact that you lost yourself and regained yourself so quickly is a testament to your strength, your resilience, and the beauty that is Stephanie. So just know you got all kinds of people across the country rooting for you right now, sweetheart. And
Oh, thank
I
y'all.
am one of them.
I know because I've been getting your messages and your posts. I've been like, yes, I all the way appreciate your support. So, challenges. Disabled CEO, Black woman in America, son of an autistic son, mother of an autistic son, started a school, had to look, I'm getting my words twisted up, sue a school system. And you've recently just gone through surgery and cancer 4 times, among other things.
Yes.
So, for those of you who are just joining us, those are all of the challenges. And I know people are like, first of all, as soon as she said cancer 4 times, I was done. So I don't know how she talked about starting a school and being a mom and being a wife and suing the school system and auditing schools now. Like, how are you even still talking about all this other stuff? Because we stopped at the illnesses, okay?
Look, I'm going to be real transparent right now. Currently, I just got, or I'm getting over that upper respiratory funk that happened because I'm actually in the middle of a sarcoid pain crisis. So if you see me blinking a lot or you see my eyes closing or getting low, it's literally because the light sensitivity is very, very strong. Okay. My sarcoidosis is sarcoidosis of the lungs. And so everything from chest on up is impacted. And it just so happens with me because those of you who are not familiar with sarcoid, it is an inflammatory disease. And so things can inflame in any part of your body. Literally, I think Friday, Saturday, my entire body was swollen, head to toe. So I am fighting through pain and through tears right now, but I'm going to tell you why I do this, right? Because I could be asleep, I could be resting, I could be doing any number of things, but I am here because I am bigger, and the story and the passion that I have is bigger than any of the obstacles that I'll ever face, right? Um, I've been blessed, extremely highly blessed, highly favored. And I need people to understand life is not supposed to be roses and sunshine all the time. You cannot understand joy if you don't actually have a relationship with pain. You cannot understand trial if you've never faced triumph, and vice versa. Those things are necessary because they're opposite ends of the same coin. So I could spend time groveling and being down in the dumps and looking like what I've been through, but I choose to be fabulous. Why not?
That part.
Right? And not for nothing, but spending my time thinking about the things that I have gone through is a recipe for disaster, right? Because you live in your past and you live in your hurt and you live in your trauma. And this is not to cast aspersions on anyone who hasn't gotten to this place, but your traumas are setting you up for the next best version of yourself. That's
Agree.
what those obstacles are. That's what those pains
I
are.
agree. I agree.
And you do your best work to give yourself grace and understand that some days, if all you're doing is breathing, then shit, that's all you can do for that day.
That part.
Tomorrow, you might be able to breathe and walk. The next day, you might be able to breathe, walk, and talk. Take the time that you need, listen to your body, listen to yourself, and do what you need to do. Because if today had been horrible, like some of the other days had been, I'd have been on the phone with you, like, Stephanie, I'm sorry, I can't do it. And whatever that does, or however that turns out for people, it lets me know, number one, who my people are, and number two, more about a bottom line or who cares
Yeah.
about a relationship in the future, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to be okay with learning where people are and where your place is with them. And
Mm-hmm.
nobody said that it's supposed to be perfect, but learning that lesson is amazing because now you're not starting from zero, you're starting from experience.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. Wow. So you just said a whole lot through that. And I resonate with a lot of it. I do think that we as women, when the trauma or the challenge or, the hurt or the pain happens, that we do need to take a moment to kind of, I guess, gather ourselves would be for lack of a better word, because I don't think it's really gather ourselves. I think it's just really to deal with it, right? Because this thing happened to us, and sometimes we know what to do with it, and sometimes we don't know what to do with it. And so in my case, I didn't know what to do with it. So it did take me some time of sitting down and like doing nothing,
yeah.
like literally doing nothing, not reading, not walking, not talking, like nothing. Then I gradually started taking walks. Then I started reading. Then I started like adding, and then I started to figure out like, okay, I don't want to stay in this place because I've been in a place of depression before and I don't want to go back there. So what do I need to do next? And that's when I decided, you know what, let me start looking up some other things that I haven't done before. So meditating, reading, grounding myself, like grounding exercises, learning different things that I hadn't experienced or done before. So 100% resonate with you on like helping women understand that it's okay to not be okay, and you don't always have to keep moving, because my go-to has always been, oh, okay, shit hit the fan, that didn't work, so let me just work harder instead of pressing pause. And I think what I heard you saying is like, sometimes you just got to press pause, and it's okay to press pause. And it's okay for, if you didn't cook dinner for the kids that night, or you didn't have sex with your husband that night, or you didn't make it to work.
I didn't say that. That's not what I said. I just don't understand.
I'm not saying you said that. I'm just saying sometimes it's okay to press pause, but some women may need that. Some women may need that break. Not all of us do. I'm with you. I'm not one of those. I don't need that break, but there are women who need that break, and I don't want them to feel bad because they may need that break, and whatever that break may be.
I'm joking with you all. Look, if you can't lay down and do what you got to do and have the adult horizontal fun with your husband, fine, don't. That's not my lot in life, because that type of fun helps a lot. It's a stress reliever, and I enjoy it. I wanted to make sure that we were clear that that's not one that I'm going to put in there.
Right. But to each their own, right? Like if that's a time that you need, not feeling bad for taking whatever time that you need. Now, here's where I would push women though, is don't linger there for a long time, because that can lead to depression.
I'm going to disagree with you, and this is why.
Okay.
I think number one, when instances happen that you go through trials and triumphs, and you're talking about obstacles, there's a grieving process that has to happen. Grief is very different for everyone.
Agree.
And what you may seem to believe is a long time may not be enough time for me. So remembering that time is relative, right? Now, what I will say is, don't do nothing in that space. Because even if you're in the valley and all you can do is record a voice memo to get those thoughts out of your head, or to journal, or to stretch and let your body become your canvas so that you're releasing those trials. Because let's remember, I have a degree in clinical mental health, so I would be remiss if I did not say that. Okay? And I think one of the problems that we face as women, we're told this is the time, or this is the space, or no. Take the space and the time, as much or as little as you need to move forward.
I agree with you on that, and I think that's what I meant by linger, because even though I spent months grieving, like months, but one thing, like what you just said, after I had my time when I did nothing, then I started to add something into it, and so that's what I mean by like not lingering. So like, you're right. Grieving doesn't have a timeline. Like I can't tell you you're going to stop grieving in 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years. I can't say that. Because I'm still even coming out of my grief after 7 months. So I can't say what that looks like. But what I meant by linger is in like, don't take so much time to sit and do nothing. Because you don't give your body and your mind an opportunity to begin the healing process in whatever your healing journey looks like. Because we also can't tell women how they're going to heal either, right? But I think that's what I meant. I just didn't say it right. Not linger in it because I can't tell you, but not linger and do nothing. Yeah. Because that's not helpful. Yeah, that's not helpful.
You have to remember too that your mind becomes your prison, right? And so if you're spending all day with your thoughts, then that's what you're going to believe because you're talking to yourself.
Correct.
And if you trap yourself in other people's definitions of who you are, you trap yourself in other people's expectations of what you should or shouldn't be doing. And remembering too, should is a judgment. Like I really feel people would do themselves a lot of justice if they wouldn't say I should. Because you said you should. Those are all judgments that come from a past hurt, a past place, or a past disbelief in self, right? So keeping that in mind and understanding that sometimes we're the most toxic versions of ourselves to ourselves, right? Because we're
yes,
something here that we don't even know sometimes what we're punishing. We're just being so angry or so vitriolic in the language that we're speaking to ourselves that we really do have to take that step back. And it's like, wait a minute. Would I talk to my 5-year-old self this way?
Ooh.
Would I talk to that child that I mentor this way? Because inevitably the answer is fuck no. So stop
that part
that way.
Yeah.
It's little things.
Yeah, I was listening to Joe Dispenza. I don't want to mess that man's name up. And just yesterday and today, and he was talking about how like we say we want to like manifest or create, our future, but we spend a lot of time living in our past, and our minds can't tell the difference between what is the reality and what you are thinking about. And so, and I really resonated with this because it was like every time I thought about what happened to me, being terminated from the school building that I had, or the school that I had established, I had founded, I was reliving that same trauma as though it was just happening all over again. Now, when I was doing it at first, I didn't realize I was reliving the trauma. I just thought that I was, it's gonna hurt. It's painful. I feel traumatized. But what I learned through him was I'm re-traumatizing myself by reliving those emotions and reliving that memory. And the best way for me to genuinely heal and move forward is to think about the woman that I want to become. Think about who I want to be. Think about what I want to be doing. Think about the vision of your future, right? We're always talking about, let's create our vision board of our future, who I want to be in 3 to 5 years from now. But we don't live in that vision. We live in the memories of our past. And I'm not saying, and I don't think he's saying this, and I didn't take it this way, like, don't remember anything that happened, because I have a lot of great memories from the past. But he's saying don't relive those memories that cause you pain and trauma, but instead think about the vision of who you want to be and what you want to do for your future, and live in those moments. And then you'll begin to create that future for yourself. And for me, that was so powerful because I don't want to always think about the trauma, right? And there's some women who do, and that's fine if that's your lot. That's what you want. We're not here to tell you you're doing things right or wrong. We're here to tell you like our experience. And I knew I didn't want to keep reliving that trauma, and I don't want to keep reliving that trauma. So to like hear him and really understand that I need to now start thinking about the future is kind of like what I hear coming from our conversation as well, is like, we keep living in these things that happened, but they happened, they're over. So what are you doing now to move forward?
I mean, even if they've happened 6 months or 6 years, my thought is this, and this is one of the few times that I'm going to say I mean this exactly as it's going to come out.
Okay.
You have two choices. Shit happened.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to stay in it, or you're going to use it to propel you to something else. That's it. Those are the choices you get.
Option 2.
Exactly. And if I told you, right, if I told you about the future, I'm not going to knock the idea of being future forward. I think that's great. I have chosen this year because, I just turned 40, you know. Whew.
Welcome to the club. Some of us been here for a few years.
I'm new to this. And this 40-year-old body is teaching me some new things.
Oh, yes. Welcome to the club.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for not looking like we have turned 40, because
that part. Won't Jesus do it, girl?
Right. Good skin. But no, what I noticed, right, is we spend so much time telling people, okay, look forward and build what you want. But my focus for this year has been living in the moment.
Ooh. Okay. Say it. Talk more.
Here's what I've learned. I drove myself crazy because I'm a planner. I'm type A. And I like to have things ...
Whole year calendar.
What I missed was every moment that was happening while I was trying to plan for the next one. Right? And the thing that I've learned after having cancer 4 times is, number one, cancer must really like me because it keeps coming back. But number 2, the options of life being promised for tomorrow ain't here. I don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
Nobody does, but when you're faced with your mortality so frequently, with something that is so real and so pressing, you really get a sense of, listen, I have 24 hours in this day. I'm going to use those 24 hours in this day. I'm going to choose to be grateful. I'm going to choose to be joyful. And I'm going to remember, my private school, the school that we opened, is African Traditional Religion Center. We teach Candomblé. We're the only school in this country that has accreditation to teach Candomblé as a faith-based practice. That being the case, one of the prayers that we say to the kids says something to the effect of, you're entitled to joy, you're entitled to life, you're entitled to happiness, you're entitled to success, you're entitled to rest. And we make sure that those kids understand, my kids, our kids, that they understand all those things are true and you're living them every day. Having siesta in the building every single day. Now, I've missed siesta the last couple of weeks, so I'm a little upset because normally I take siesta with the K through 2nd graders. Right? For those of you who are not familiar, yes, every person in our grade, K to 9th grade, takes a nap period. You don't have to go to sleep, but you are going to take that respite to center yourself, to get yourself in order, to reframe.
I love it.
Sometimes it's playing with something, a fidget or whatever. For a lot of our kids, they just get on their phones, they listen to music in the calming room, whatever they're going to do. They take that 30-minute period, and it's no less than 30 minutes for every grade level, to center themselves. Do you know we have 0 behavior issues?
Wow.
Our social emotional learning score, because we take a third-party index, has gone from kids coming in at 2.5 on a 5-point scale to being at 4.6 on average. All right, that's what we're producing by teaching our children how to live life more fulfilled and more astute with the personhood that they were born into, not the obstacles that are going to happen, because life is going to life. But how you choose to accept lifing makes the difference. And so daily affirmations, they start their day with daily affirmations. The kindergartners sing the Snoop Dogg affirmation song, to be quite honest. It's the cutest freaking thing. But they learn this song and they believe this song because we've gone to the part to City Park with our kids, and there were other schools there doing things that our kids do not do, and
Mm-hmm.
they're counseling on the playground with these other children. Okay, that's what
Mm-hmm.
we've built with our kids. We have to teach ourselves to live like that. We've got to teach ourselves to grab every moment and take as much joy as we can get out of that moment. Because sure enough, tomorrow and the next moment is definitely not promised to you.
Correct.
So if I told you I'm going to give you $1 million, but you die tomorrow, are you going to take the million? No, you're not
Because it won't matter
at
unless I can
all.
spend it all today. But at that point, if I know I'm dying tomorrow, then the things don't matter.
Exactly. And that's what we got to remember. You just said it. The things don't matter. Your life does. What you do with it
Correct.
does. How you
Correct.
spend your time building, that's what matters. And
Yeah.
so I'm present in every moment that I can possibly be present. And if that means that, okay, my phone's been going off since I've started. I know you can hear the dings, right? I'm not paying attention to that phone. The phone is going to wait because I'm in this moment right now.
Mm-hmm.
If I tell my husband we're going to sit down and we're going to have a conversation, then for whatever amount of time that my husband and I are sitting down, that's it. We're sitting down and having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I train my dogs. Both of my dogs are service animals. So every day I'm training them 30 minutes, and each dog gets their own 30-minute time period with me. And then they
Mm-hmm.
do a 30-minute time period together so that they can, learn to co train.
Mm-hmm.
These are things that I'm tied to, but if something happens that I have to switch that schedule, I'm just going to switch the schedule. I'm not going to beat
Mm-hmm.
myself up about it. I'm not going to sit around and dread the fact that I missed a meeting or I missed an opportunity, because trust and believe if it's really mine, it's going to come back around.
Yep.
So that's it.
So Joe talks about being present. I haven't fully dived into that part yet because I was still on the other part about visioning your future, but he's touched a little bit on it. So it's interesting that you say it on the same day that I was listening to it, and I mean I can't really speak to it, but I'm excited to know or to learn what it is to live like to live in the moment, right? Because we are so busy, and I think I'm gonna speak about myself right now, not women in general. I'm not gonna do that to us. I think for myself, the reason why the trauma was so traumatic is because I didn't live in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in the memories of what was created. I lived in the vision and the planning for the future, all the meetings and the calendars. And I think I lived for making sure the community was okay, making sure the kids were okay, making sure the staff was okay, making sure the board was okay, making sure that we were in compliance, making sure that we were doing enroll, like all of the things. But at what moment did I, one, invest into myself, and then two, learn how to live in the moment, so when things did happen, like you said, I missed the meeting or I missed the deadline or they decided I'm no longer a good fit, like if I'm living in the moment, then why does any of those things matter?
Right. Right. I mean, they matter because it's value to you, right? I teach a class on Thursdays, spirituality class. And one thing that I tell my students all the time: validation is for parking. Validate yourself, be your own champion, be your own cheerleader, because not for nothing, but sometimes people are so stuck in their own things or in their own way that they don't recognize they haven't
Yeah.
poured into anyone else. And you can't hold someone else accountable for that necessarily, um, because some people's love language is just not that anyway. But what you learn when you validate yourself and when you cheerlead yourself is that, number one, you don't have to rely on anybody else's permission. You don't have to rely on anybody else's perspective. You don't have to rely on anybody else's anything. You
Yeah.
are enough. And that is not an encouragement to be on an island by yourself by any means. However, I've been married for 1,000 years, right? And in my thousand, no, I've been married for, this year will be our 20th year. I've been with the same
Yay.
25 years.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Because Lord, that's what
Cause some of us didn't make it.
I
Some
listen.
of us is on marriage number 2.
There's no judgment. There's no
Oh, I
judgment.
don't judge myself because this second time around it was way better than the first time.
I'm so happy for you because I'm like, look, sir, I'm trying to make it to your 50. I want to high five you in the face with a chair right now. You know, what I've gotten from that and what I've gathered, right? We can spend a lifetime being in a marriage, and I'm talking about the marriage because for so many women, we get defined by the relationships that are around us,
You
either
better speak.
how
Yes.
we interact with other
Yes.
women or how we
Yes.
interact with men in general.
Yes.
So I'm gonna take that
Yes.
pause to talk about men. I am about as close to a traditionalist in marriage as possible, right? It's
Okay.
not that I necessarily believe in gender roles, but I like to be my soft girl self. I'm not gonna be hard with my husband. That's
Yep.
not a thing, okay?
Yep.
But I know this to be the case. I was solid, and then I went to therapy to become more solid because me alone is enough. If tomorrow things do not work out with my husband, I will be okay because I am enough by myself. I
Yeah.
am not entangled. I am not engendered. I am not or dependent of. I am independent in the sense that I maintain my own personhood while I'm still in a loving, committed, and faithful relationship. We as women have to do that,
Yes. Agree.
right? And we don't have to follow the trends. We don't have to, you know, if you like dyeing your hair, if you like wearing the purple hair, if you like doing whatever, do it if it makes you happy. Understand people aren't going to agree with you,
Correct.
people aren't going to like it. Be strong enough to say fuck them and do you. And if you
That
can
part.
do that, you find that living in the present and being in the moment is significantly easier because them people's opinion ain't your business. Let
That
them keep
part.
it and say thank you for renting space in their head for absolutely no money at all.
Talk about them condos.
Right?
Okay, Cardi B.
It's not even a condo. Well, because you know Cardi's in the world. Um, it's not even a condo. You got a whole damn skyrise in some people's heads, and that's
Yeah.
okay. Because guess what? My real estate costs money, and I'm happy that I have taken up real estate property in your head because that's where I'm gonna live. And if you needed me to make myself bite sized so that you can swallow, bitch, choke. Okay? Because that's where I'm living. Period. Straight like that.
And I hope they heard you because for some of us ladies, it took us to marriage number 2 to get to that place. And I wish I would have been there before I got married. So let's be clear. Before I got married to number 1, I was not there and should have been. And
Did you
I
just shoot yourself?
encourage, huh?
Did you just shoot yourself?
I did. I did just judge myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I did judge myself because if I would have been in the place that you are talking about the first time, it wouldn't have been a first time.
Here's the thing, though. You needed that first time to get you to here, because hindsight is 2020.
True.
What do you gain from judging yourself? Absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Nothing.
So why are you doing it? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know. Slap on the wrist.
But it's okay because that's how we've been programmed for so long
And conditioned,
in our
yes.
lives, right? Not just as women, but especially as black women, we are expected to hold on to everybody's shit in every facet of our lives.
All the time. Every day.
But
Twice on
hush, Papa
Sundays.
Peeps. First of all, let me be clear, and this is not I hate men because black men especially. I actually do love black men. I love all men if they're gonna be men, but I especially love black men because I'm raising one myself. Right? I don't really like him right now, but that's a different story. He's a little teenager. He's a junior
I
in
know. I
college.
have 4 of them.
I know. That's why I don't know how you stay looking as young as you do. Because I told you the hair is already gray. I don't know what I'm about to do now. Um, but it's and again, my son is a junior in college. For those of you that heard me talk about his attempted suicide in the beginning, ended up being a 7-time junior Olympian. He's a scholar right now, playing D1 football, all the
Oh,
wonderful jazz, right? He's
yay.
living the life.
Yay.
But I say this to say, we have gotten to a place where, as a black woman, we're expected to be our black man's piece while simultaneously allowing the rest of the world to kick us up the ass with everything they
Mm-hmm.
do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not able to do that. I'm going to be my husband's piece because that's the job that I signed up for. All right?
Mm-hmm.
But my husband is going to reciprocate that peace, or there will be no peace in this motherfucker. Do you understand? Right? That's number one, right?
Oh Lord.
Number two, I am not allowing the world to define who I'm supposed to be any further. I'm just not.
Amen. Amen.
Right?
Amen.
I choose to show up however I choose to show up. I hope people have gotten the understanding that I don't believe in respectability politics. I don't. I'm not going to sit up here and give you some polished version of anything. If you're going to sign on with me, you're going to know that you're signing on with all of me, not
Yeah.
pieces. You're not going to pick and choose. This is not Build a Bitch. Get yourself together. I am
Mm-hmm.
one whole human, and you're going to accept me as one whole human.
Mm-hmm.
I accept that I have flaws and I am still working, but that's the grace and the beauty of life. If
Yeah.
there's breath in my body, there's work that I can still do.
Mm-hmm.
But when that work happens, it's not your call, and it probably ain't your business. That's for me and my creator. And if you don't
Yeah.
like it, I don't give a damn. That's your business to take up with your Jesus. Go do it
Mm-hmm.
and do it privately because if I wanted an opinion of a man, particularly, I'd grow a dick and give it to myself.
Mm. Mm.
And I definitely don't want other women's opinions if it's going to tear me down either.
Mm.
We're
Mm.
building
Mm.
over
Mm.
here. I can't build on slush, and negativity is slush. I'm trying to build on
Mm-hmm.
positivity.
Yep.
So if you're not working on the team to uplift and empower and build,
Mm-hmm.
then you're somewhere outside of my purview. And I don't care what you have to say. I don't care what you think. I'm not going to make myself smaller. I'm not going to make myself
Mm.
digestible.
Mm.
I'm not going to
Mm.
turn around and bend over backwards to kiss your
Mm.
ass and mine. I'm
Mm.
not doing any of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens when you do them, and this is something that if you don't hear anything else, universe, hear this. What happens when you spend time bending over backwards and becoming the person that somebody else needs you to be? When you come home, you don't know who you are. Okay? And then when those people have a whim, they're going to get rid of you anyway.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And it's, I tell my staff that. Do you understand? My staff, if somebody opens an email beyond 7 o'clock at night and sends it anywhere on this good internet, because we sweep for that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have a conversation with my staff because that's not a good work-life balance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand what that is for. I don't know why you're doing it. Turn the fuck off. The work is going to be here tomorrow. And I am
It
your
sure will be.
check telling you this.
It sure will be.
So
But it sounds like you also genuinely care about people too,
I do.
which not a lot of people do. And you're teaching your staff how to be human beings. You're teaching your children how to be human beings and live on this earth and care for themselves and love themselves. Because if you don't do it, who is going to?
Nobody.
And what you just said, you might not have been talking to anybody else who was watching, but you was 100% definitely talking to Stephanie, because it took me so long to finally even realize that I want to be where you are, in the sense of I don't want to care what people think about me. And for the most part, I don't. As being over 40, that kind of comes naturally. But I also want to authentically walk into spaces and places and do the work that I want to do in all of how I want to do it, not how you want me to do it. And I remember telling my husband after the situation that I was like, if you need me to get a job, I will get a job. But I don't want to work for anyone else. White, black, Asian, Mexican, Latino. I don't care. It's not even about race. I don't want to work for anybody else but myself and my family. And so, but if you need me to work, I will do that, because I know that I want to be able to help provide or contribute in my family. But if you don't, then my next venture is to build my own business, to make my own money for myself and not work for anyone else ever again. But in doing that authentically as Stephanie, because you're right. You said something earlier, like the trauma and the things that I've been through in my life have created this woman that I am, that I now love and I believe is beautiful. And I don't take shit from people, and I do what I want to do when I want to do it.
Yeah.
And I now have this new part-time job that I chose, that I wanted to do. And it is with an employer, but it's because it's doing the work that I want to do, which is coaching teachers. So I'm a part of an organization where I get to go coach teachers, and they needed me to do something. And I had to tell them, like, hey, I can't make it for this meeting on this day because I already had another obligation. And so in the spirit of transparency and honesty and being authentically Stephanie, I have these other things that I need to do, so I'm not going to be able to make that meeting. And they didn't have any problem with it. And it's like, why it took so long to get here, right? Why am I at mid 40s learning lessons that, again, judgment, I think I shoulda, coulda, woulda, whatever learned when I was in my 20s. But I think what I want women to take away from this is, one, Stephanie is learning on this call too. Stop saying I should have, because Brandy's right. I learned a lot of lessons through my trauma. I've learned a lot of lessons through my mistakes. I've learned a lot of lessons through doing things a certain way, even though I wish I would not have, right?
Yeah.
But I am the beautiful woman that I am today because of all of those traumas. And if you take anything from this, I hope that you learn that Brandy said earlier, like, life is fucked up. Life is, it is what it is. It's like, you can't change how life happens to you, but you can change how you view life and how you walk in it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You got to understand, Stephanie, and I think every woman has to understand this at some point in our lives, because I had to understand it too. Energy is the most precious currency that you have.
Mm-hmm.
The second most precious currency is time.
Yeah.
Once you give those things away, they don't come back. You don't
Nope.
get to, you get a recycling if you wake up the next day, right? You get a recycling of 24 hours. But what you did yesterday, you don't get to ever take that back. So
Mm-hmm.
spend your time doing what makes you fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And sometimes it's not going to make you happy, and that's okay. Sometimes life is just not fun. That too is okay. Because, again, appreciating the rain, because the sun is so much more beautiful when it comes out afterwards.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah. So what's Brandy's definition of resilience, and what would you leave with the ladies today?
Mm. I think my definition of resilience is choosing to be intentional
Mm.
after, right? There's always an after. It doesn't matter what the after comes from, and it doesn't matter what the impetus was, but choosing to be intentional after is resilience. Because the quintessential part of resilience that gets lost in translation, you bounced back. But
Mm.
it's the
Mm-hmm.
why. It's the how sometimes, but it's really the why.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you bounce back? And for me, it's that intentional, purposeful, driven component of myself. That's why I bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
people that are depending on me need me to bounce back. I need me to bounce back. Hell, my ancestors need me to bounce back, because the blood
Mm-hmm.
that flows in me is theirs, and they
Mm-hmm.
sacrificed so I could do something greater, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I think that's where I'll leave it, because I think that's enough right there.
Yeah. That's beautiful. And first of all, I always love interacting with you and talking with you because you are always real. You're always, I think, teaching even when you don't intend to. You're always helping. I think sometimes when you don't intend to, like just having a conversation with you it's comforting, but it's also like I always walk away with like, man, she really helped me through that, or she really helped me like understand this. So I love that I love how we met, and I love that we've stayed connected, whether we've spoken or not spoken or text or sent social media posts to each other. But I love that I know you, and I love that you are in my life. And so thank you so much for sharing who you are with everyone. Because I know there's some people out there who are definitely resonate with you, because I can see all the comments. Preach. I'm definitely learning something today. She better say that. So they hear your heart, and I do too. And I just thank you so much for bearing through your pain to have this conversation with me, because again, even if they didn't learn anything, Stephanie did, and I love you for it. So thank you.
I love you back, beautiful black woman, and I love all of the women that are in the audience, black, white, or indifferent. We need each other, guys. Like, men are not going to be able to do it because they weren't built to be nurturers. They can probably nurture, but it's not their nature. It's ours. We've got to empower and nurture each other. I said that's what I was going to leave it with, but I'm going to leave it with that last one. All right.
All right. Thank you.